channel. This is the Reddit Mess, where I give my unsolicited advice. Oh my gosh, y'all, oh. I've been away so long that I forgot my own intro. So welcome back to my channel. This is the Reddit Mess, where I read a bunch of Reddit stories. I give my unsolicited advice. We're gonna have the key moments. And yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? And then also, I'm gonna keep saying it, if y'all have like stories, if y'all see stories on Reddit that y'all want me to like do, or if y'all have your own stories in real life that you want me to read and give my opinion or some advice, you know, send it to my email. And also, don't mind this little guy. I gave him a bath. I tried to blow dry him, and he just kept running away. So this is why he looking like that. This is why he looking like that. This week, I don't really have a topic. I'm just gonna do whatever speaks to me. Whatever speaks to my spirit, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So the first one, the subreddit is relationship advice. And the title is, my wife, 34 female, made me choose between a vasectomy or just no intimacy, no boom boom, no clap clap. And I am a 38 male, chose not to have intimacy, the boom boom, the clap clap, and now she is mad. Let's go ahead and get into it. So my wife and I have been married for 7 years, and we have a 3-year-old daughter. We both agreed that we only wanted one child, so we are good. She recently told me to get a vasectomy because we weren't going to have any kids anymore, and she wanted to stop taking birth control. She told me that her friend's husband got one and that they are having a good experience with it. I told her that I get that she wants to stop taking birth control and I fully support her decision, but that I will never get a vasectomy because I don't feel comfortable getting one, and I will not alter my body if it isn't necessary, and I will never change my mind about this. I suggested that I can just wear a condom like I used to when we first started our relationship, so she doesn't need to take any form of birth control and we can continue our intimacy. She basically got mad at me over this and even told me that if I don't get a vasectomy, we will not do the deed anymore. I made it clear again that I am willing to wear a condom every time so there isn't a problem. She told me that I'm either getting a vasectomy or we just aren't going to do the deed anymore. And I will admit that I like doing the deed, but I'm not a desperate loser who's going to beg for it and do something he doesn't want just to have it. So I told her that I guess we aren't going to do the deed anymore. This was 2 months ago. Woo! Damn, that's all I can say. It's unfortunate that we aren't doing the deed anymore, but it's not like my life depends on it. So at the end of the day, I'm good. My wife, on the other hand, is not taking it so well. A couple of days ago, she got mad at me for not wanting to be intimate with her and that I think my seed is more... I'm sorry, this is serious, but it's funny at the same time. And she thinks that my seed is more important than our intimacy, doing the deed. She also said a bunch of other things to try to tell me to get a vasectomy. But just like before, I told her no, and I made it clear to her that I'm willing to wear a condom. Again, it's unfortunate that we aren't doing the deed, but at the end of the day, I'm good. I don't want this stupid fight to lead to anything more and want a healthy way to deal with this. How can I make it clear to my wife that she is making a big deal out of this for no reason? Something like this shouldn't be a big deal for us because we have gone through so much more. Because we ain't making love no more. We're not even trying to change. Sometimes I get a little lonely. Cisco. I'm sorry, that was dramatic as hell, but baby, that needs to be the theme song of this post. Like, that needs to be the theme song. Drew Hill, we ain't making love no more. Okay, this is really hard because I feel like in order to have a positive marriage, a positive relationship, you also have to have a very healthy boom clap clap life. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that's not the whole relationship, but I feel like that's a chunk of the relationship. So the fact that they have, sorry. So the fact that they haven't even done the deed for 2 months now, that speaks volumes. And the fact that the wife is already cracking, I kind of feel like this is going downhill very fast. This sucks. See, this sucks because I understand both parties. He's saying, hey, I completely understand you don't want to be on birth control anymore. Like, I get it. It puts your body all out of whack. You know, your hormones are high, low. It makes you crazy. Gets your body all out of, discourse. Get off birth control, babe. Here's the compromise. I'll just wear condoms. That's what we were doing in the beginning, and you were okay with that. We had our one child. I'm done, and that's that, right? But then she comes back and she's like, no, partner, condoms ain't gonna work. I need you to get a vasectomy. And he's like, I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen. Which, in a way, I mean, it's his body. It's both their bodies. So at the end of the day, like, they can do whatever they want to do. But a vasectomy, if I'm not mistaken, it's reversible. Like, Nesio, no. It's reversible. But still, I totally get it. Like, he doesn't want to do it. I really don't know. I don't really know what to say in this situation. It's like someone is going to have to either give in or they're just going to have to go their separate ways. And I know that sucks to say it out loud, but at the end of the day, it's both their bodies. As a woman, I hate going on social media. I hate listening to the news. I hate all politics about how men are telling women how we need to do our bodies. So, and I feel like it should be vice versa. Like, who are we to tell a man, like, hey, this is what you need to be doing? It's unfortunate that they're married. It's unfortunate that they had a child together. And after they have the child together, now this is unfolded right in front of their eyes. And it sucks because he's saying, like, we've been through so much more. But it's almost like, is this the hill that the wife is going to die over? You know what I'm trying to say? Because for 2 months, they ain't doing it. And he's not budging. I feel like for both of them, this might be the hill that they're willing to die over. Again, I completely understand both parties, so it's like I don't really have a lot to say. I think I'm more so curious about what you guys think, because I just find it really interesting. So there was an update. Since the last time, a lot has changed. Like a lot of you suggested, I started to communicate honestly and open with my wife about everything. We heard each other's concerns out and we were able to understand each other better. This already cleared up a lot of tension we were having over the past few months. We also had our very first session of marriage counseling, and this cleared a lot of things up for us. Our counselor basically explained that when we both have, boom, clap, clap, whether that is with protection or not, we have to accept the fact that there will always be a risk of pregnancy. Like, we want to completely eliminate this risk by undergoing a surgical procedure, that this is a personal matter we have to decide for ourselves and we can't push on our partner. This also cleared a lot of tension between my wife and I. We even started having boom, clap, clap again. We also discussed different options of contraception, and we were looking more into the use of a copper IUD, since this does not contain hormones and it doesn't affect the act itself. But for now, we both feel comfortable using condoms and might just stick to it. My wife even said that she might be looking into tubal ligation, and I'll support any decision that she decides to make. Things seem to get better when we both will keep working on our marriage. That's actually really good. I'm glad they were able to go seek counseling and actually lay everything out on the table and really discuss like what their problem was and where they were coming from. After reading the update, I think I now know how I want to articulate my words in regards to the condom. Now, although it's him reading the story, like he's just stating how he feels about it and where his partner's coming from. We don't know any other details about them as individuals. The condom. Me as a woman, and I'm not saying all men are like this. I mean, he could be the unicorn out there that's, that doesn't need to push that on people. But me as a woman, I feel like every man that I've been in a relationship with and I decided to be intimate with, because I have gone through times where it's like, I don't want to be on birth control. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't like my hormones being all out of whack. I don't like what it makes me feel. I don't like it. So I've gotten to the point where I got off birth control. And then my partners They were fine with wearing the condom, and it never failed. At some point in time, they always wanted to take the condom off again. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they all wanted to take the condom off at some point in time. Like, they all complained, like, it just feels better without a condom. Could we just try? Could we try the pull-out method? And of course, when you're in a long-term relationship, you know, you want to hear out your partner. And then if they keep pushing, then it's like, okay, well, maybe I should just give in. I know I'm guilty of it. I'm definitely guilty of it. My partner kept complaining about it so long, I kind of just gave in. And then I'm sitting there looking crazy after the fact, like, damn, like, am I going to get my cycle? Is my period coming? Checking my little period calendar, like, oh, Lord, you know, the pregnancy scare. And although they're married, they both agree that they only want to have one child. So I'm curious if that was where, like, her concern was coming from. Like, okay, yeah, like, you're okay with condoms now, but are you somewhere down the line going to be like, hey, look, I want to take the condom off, like, you know what I'm trying to say? That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all think. So the next subreddit is the same subreddit. It's relationship advice. We have been dating for a little over 6 years and recently went up to my parents last weekend. And we met in college for more detail. While there, we ended up going through some old photo books with my parents, but when we got home, my boyfriend said he wanted to talk. Ooh. Ooh, I hate that. Can we talk? No. I hate that. Ooh. Nothing ever good happens when someone says, can we talk? Oh my gosh. Anyways. He said he was bothered by the old photos of me doing aerial silks when I was in my teens and said that it came off as inappropriate. And this was the first time he ever commented on something that I wore or used to wear. He also said he was disappointed in my parents for having no issue with it either. But when I asked why he was bothered when it was so long ago, he said that his mom, who's very religious, he's an atheist, never let his sister wear anything not down to her knees, and that he was concerned I might put our potential children in pole dancing because silks was close to it. And I told him I disagreed. When I said that, though, he said that that was the problem and that he wanted a break. And he's been staying with his brother for the past 2 days without calling me at all. I think it's immature. I told him before he left that I just wanted to talk like adults about whatever's behind this. But he said he wasn't interested until he talked to his brother. And I just wanted to ask, what should I do from here? I'm reconsidering a lot myself too, but I'm hurt that he wants to confide in him before me and was fine before the trip, but after seeing the old album, he has an issue with me. Bump him. Bump him. Honestly, I feel like that's a blessing in disguise. I feel like that's a blessing in disguise. Because if he has a problem with that, honestly, me, myself, I don't see a problem with aerial silks. Like, and a lot of y'all know, y'all follow me off of TikTok, I started doing adult tumbling. And then while I'm doing my tumbling, on the other section, they're doing like aerial silks. And I see kids in there all the time, like they're having fun. And I feel like when it comes down to like stuff like that, it's only inappropriate if in your mind you're making it an appropriate thing. Like, does that make sense? Like a kid wearing, you remember like back in the day, like when we were really young, we used to have like the little crop tops, like with the sunflower and the little ruffles and stuff like that. It's cute as a kid, but then it's like now you have some people where they make it really bad. Like, oh, that's too grown for a little kid. No, like it's a little kid wearing a freaking sunflower crop top, and in your mind you're making it very inappropriate. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me. I feel like it's only inappropriate if that's where your mind is going to. Like if you see a little girl and you're like thinking of her and equating a little girl flipping around on some silks to an adult and a stripper pole, that's you. That's something in your mind. And I find it so funny that he's atheist, but his mom was like super religious. Well, I guess that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because that's how he was reared. Never mind. So scratch that. That was just how he was reared. So in his mind, the way his mother reared his sisters, it sounds like he wants his girls, his daughters, to be just as conservative. And that is something that she's going to have to think about. Like, okay, do you want, if you guys were to have kids and you were to have a daughter, would you be okay with him dictating like what? That's crazy. Because she said that he's never in the past had a problem with what she wore or what she did wear until he went home and looked at the photo album. I find that really interesting. Maybe he didn't have a problem with it because, you know, he sees her as what she is now, and then seeing how she grew up as a kid, maybe that's what triggered him, because he's like, you know what, I don't want my kid, like, okay, this is how you do it now, but I don't want my kids to have that type of freedom. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I definitely think that that's something that she needs to reconsider too. Me personally, I wouldn't be able to proceed forward. Like, if you got a stick up your ass and you over here equating silks, little girls flipping on some silks to a stripper pole, no, absolutely not. And on top of that, someone brought up a good point. The comment that has like a lot of likes says, why would you want to marry someone who can't even talk to you like an adult when something is bothering them? That's absolutely true. Immediately, his first response to the confrontation was to Jay. That right there, I feel like that speaks volumes on how the relationship is going to be in the future. Any form of miscommunication, any form of confrontation, he's going to eject. And the fact that he said, well, I can't talk to you until I talk to my brother. What the hell does your brother have to do with our relationship? Your brother has nothing to do with our relationship. It's between you and I. See, that right there, that's a red flag to me. Because what you're telling me is, like, every time there's going to be an issue, you're going to jet, and then you have to talk with someone, like one of your family members, and then you're going to have your family putting stuff in your ear. Like, you can't make a formal decision on your own. No, you can't be my man. No, you can't. So here's the update. I want to clarify something that I didn't in my first post, and that is that I practiced silks in college as well. He saw me practice there and had no issues with it, but only had an issue with my high school recital outfit. A unitard that went down to my knees. When I was in practice, I'm in yoga pants and a tee usually, but him comparing me to his sister was nothing new. But something he promised to stop doing years ago until I provided the photo book, which make him break it. Okay, so he's been doing this too long. So in the past, he compared privileges that I grew up with to the ones she wasn't allowed to have and held it against me. Once when we went to a funeral at church and said I was lucky not to have a trauma stepping into one, along with the non-Christian music I listened to. I told him to stop both times, and after the music thing, he promised to stop for a few years until this. Since my last post, we've gone our separate ways. I told him that he needed to pick his stuff up or tell me what was happening, or I'd have a storage company hold his stuff. And he finally responded and sent me a text detailing what he and his brother spoke about, not even having the nerve to tell me over the phone. He said that he lied about being an atheist because he knew I wouldn't accept him otherwise. I never said that. I'm not religious myself, and that he was a Christian, but a better one than his mom. He also pointed to, so I was right. But anyways, pointed to the outfits that other performers wore in the photo book recital as inappropriate because leotards are meant for sex. And what? Get out of here. Because leotards are meant for sex and degrading things like that, even saying that gymnastic leads to bad thoughts, and that I probably put our kids in there like every parent too. He said that the Larry Nassar stuff happened because the sport was sexual in nature, which is why purity was important, and that he was sad that I didn't see it that way, and that he was done with me because of my values. Baby, you can't be done with me when I was done with you before you were done with me. So he wanted his brother to help him with his things, but I told him that I didn't want him there because of how he hated me and his criminal record. He was in no contact with him until he seemingly broke it to stay with him. So he had someone else come with him, and I had a friend there while they did what they did. We had been working to fully cancel everything for the wedding since. He even had been in premarital counseling and talked about how he compared me to his sister in the past. But someone in the comments put it perfectly in my last post when they said something like, it wasn't my fault for having a good upbringing and not feeling guilty about it because of his sister, who I didn't know existed at the time, but he seemed to internalize it the entire time. I really appreciate the advice I received as I'm trying to move on, but the realization of realizing the internalization is hard and how he lied about his promise to stop. Maybe I should have known that he could never, and moved on. I mean, I really don't have anything else to say because she moved on. They went their separate ways. Okay, so they've been together for 6 years. I actually find that really interesting that they were together for 6 years and the whole time he was faking that he was atheist. Like, how is that something that you hide? Especially the fact that she's making it seem like he is super religious, like, you know, that he views leotards and gymnastics as sexual in nature. Like, how do you hide some? See, this is what's scary about dating. Like, men, there really be men out there to be, you know, in it for the long run, to be in it for the long haul, just lying. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. This is the last subreddit, and then we're closing out. So the subreddit is, am I the asshole? And the question is, am I the asshole for kicking my husband out of the delivery room? So I, 23 female, and my husband, 24 male, just had our first baby. My husband was so excited and was super supportive and caring throughout the whole pregnancy. The only thing is that he became slightly obsessed with watching YouTube and TikTok videos of husbands pulling pranks on their wives while in labor. I didn't mind it at first, but then he started to casually joke about doing things he saw in the videos, saying it would be funny. I clearly stated my distaste for them and asked him not to do anything like what he saw. He agreed and continued to joke about it time to time, but I brushed it off since I trusted him and thought nothing would come of it. The day of the delivery came, and I had been in labor for 8 hours, 12 hours total. I had just finished another round of contractions when my husband let out the loudest fart, turned to me and said, "What the hell have you been eating? It smells disgusting." Immediately recognized that as one of the pranks in the videos. Outraged at him not honoring what I asked him not to do, I demanded that he leave the room. He started arguing, saying it was just a joke, but I insisted, and luckily the nurse helped him get out. I went through the last 4 hours of labor by myself. Oh, Lord. I went through the last 4 hours of labor by myself since my family lives out of state and I'm not close to my mother-in-law. After the delivery, I told the nurse he can come back into the room, and he was fuming. He started demanding that I tell him why I kicked him out. I calmly told him the reason, but he was pissed. He hasn't talked to me in a week. His mom is taking his side, saying that I was the complete bitch for kicking him out. Normally, he would defend me from her, but this time he completely agreed. I might be the asshole because I know how much she was looking forward to being there for the birth of our first kid, especially when he got to cut the cord. But I still kicked him out and refused to let him back in. Nurse asked a few times if I wanted him back in, but each time I said no. Am I the asshole for kicking out my husband after a stupid prank he agreed not to do? Hell no. Hell no. Like, me personally, I'm not a fan of the pranks. I don't like pranks, especially in like relationships. Like, yeah, they're cute from time to time, but people take it too far. And if someone, in this case, she, the partner, if she already told you, hey, look, I'm not feeling that, I don't like that, respect that. Especially because she's carrying life, she's carrying your child. So why in your thick mind do you think that that's okay? Like, let me just go ahead and play this prank on her when she's literally giving life that you guys created. And that was the best time. And then she said it took 12 hours in total, and all you're doing is sitting your ass on the sidelines just waiting for the baby to come out. That's it. That's all you have to do. Be supportive and wait. And during that time frame, you couldn't like stop to think about yourself for just like for 12 hours. Like, the joke was more important than your wife that was literally popping a melon head out of her Tootsie Pop. That was more important. Yeah, I would have kicked his ass out too. Like, no, like, I don't care. And you know what? I guarantee you, once the dust like actually settles, like once she like really fully evaluates the whole situation, like, she's gonna see him as a man-child, because that's what he is. Like, the fact that she literally had to push life by herself. And I don't want to hear anyone in the comments talking about, oh, well, she kicked him out. Like, hell yeah, like, why wouldn't you kick someone out that's like messing up like that? Oh Lord, I can't imagine what it would be like to have a child. Hell, my periods hurt like hell, and I'm doing it by myself. Yes, would it have been nice to have my partner there with me, to assist me, to help me? Yes, it would have been nice. But the fact that you want to be a clown, hell yeah, like, you gotta go. I'm gonna bring life into this world by myself. And the fact that now he's allowing his mother to disrespect me and call me out of my name, like, to be honest, I wouldn't respect him. I wouldn't respect him, and I wouldn't respect her. Because how quickly you will fold on a drop of a dime the moment you don't get what you want. Yeah, like, no. I'm not feeling it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Me personally, it's poor taste. Poor taste. But there's an update. It's been a rough first week, but thankfully my mother arrived this morning to help me out. I talked to my husband as best as I could since he's still upset and ignoring me, and told him how I was feeling. I've been feeling depressed and anxious since we brought the baby home, and that I understood why he was upset, but asked him to please see my side. He told me that I had no right to kick him out and that our daughter would come to hate me for one day having him miss her birth. I started crying and begged him, oh, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. Oh, I started to cry and begged him to please talk me through, please talk things through instead of saying things out of anger. He refused and said I was under his roof, so he had the final say and called me, called me a C, can I spell that? C-U-N-T, there you go, for kicking him out of the delivery room. I didn't say anything else to him. I just started packing myself and the baby's things and planned on leaving. He yelled, telling me that I couldn't take anything he paid for. I haven't worked since the start of the pandemic. I just took the baby and told my mom we were leaving. We were staying at a motel and we would drive to my parents' house tomorrow. Sorry for the long update, but I wanted everyone to know the outcome. That's a mess. That's a mess. That's a mess. He's a man child. He's a man child. And I know right now, it definitely sucks. I know she's physically going through it. I can't even imagine. You just gave life. Your husband's out here calling you out your name. Your mother-in-law is calling you out your name. There's nothing else to it. He's hot garbage. He's upset because there was consequences to his actions. You guys already had this discussion prior to you giving birth, saying, hey, I don't like this. I don't find it funny. Please don't do that. Respect that. I'm carrying our child. It took 12 hours for me to deliver the child, and you want to fart up in this room, messing up my shit that I got going on, trying to deliver this melon-headed baby out my Tootsie Pop. Baby, you got to go. You got to go. And you know what? You could tell, I'm sure there were other signs that he didn't respect her throughout the relationship, but because you can tell, I'm sure there were other signs throughout this whole relationship that he didn't respect her. But let us walk through all the different signs. Number one, he did what he did after he said that he wouldn't do during labor. That's number one. Number two, he allowed his mother to disrespect her. Even though they were at odds, he should have never allowed his mother to sit up there and call that girl out her name and whatever else. That's number two. Number three, he called her out her name. He don't respect her. And then when she's like, all right, let me go ahead and pack up the stuff, he said, don't you touch nothing. You better not touch nothing because I bought everything up in here. To me, that right there, that was the only thing I needed to see, to be honest. Out of everything that I heard, that right there, trash. That was everything that I needed to see. Because your wife just gave birth to your child and she's leaving. She's leaving, packing up to go with her family because you are being a big ass crybaby. And the last thing you want to tell her is you better not touch anything because I bought everything. And she's carrying your child. He's hot garbage. Hot garbage. And you know what? I hope she divorces him. I hope she divorces him. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Just let me know.